So, what do we mean by social media dangers? Social media dangers can refer to many different things. Um, Among dangers would be spammers, scammers, cyberbullying, uh, and even things such as things that um, people who participate in social media uh, would do, like acting irresponsibly, for example, irresponsible tweets, irresponsible posts, things that would make people not look so kindly upon them. Um, let's, in this presentation, I'm just going to talk about a few things in general, and because it's like, as this presentation talks about this topic, there's so many different things I can go about going in. So it's just going to be a brief overview. Anyway, when one wants to get involved in social media, it's like whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's, MySpace many years ago. One thing always have to bear in mind is to behave and responsibly, and to, when you do things, have a certain degree of common sense with you. It's like think. It's like, do I really want to post that particular thought? Do I really want to post that photo when you know that it's something that could be retweeted, reposted, or whatever? It's something that you have to keep in mind, especially when you consider that businesses, companies, potential employers, maybe even employers might know what your account is under Facebook, or might know what your Twitter name is, who you tweet as anyway, and it's just something to bear in mind. And one thing that you consider while doing that is that you do have privacy options that you can establish, whether it's you can set it so that anything that you would post would be set towards a certain friend group only, and but bear that in mind, is that even if you have something that's set to a certain friend group only, that person could copy and paste that and have that and publicize that. It's happened before with sports figures in the past couple of years on Twitter, for example. So, as far as privacy information is concerned, a lot of people have had concerns about wanting to, or not wanting to have certain applications and such know who they are, what their contact information and stuff like that is. And I myself have, on my Facebook page, I've set it up so that I don't have that many applications knowing my contact information. As far as I don't really want to get contact information from Zynga, for example, on a lot of their different products. And if you're the same way, you might want to set your account settings in that way as well. In addition to privacy, there are other things. I've mentioned spammers and scammers. If you see something that someone posts on Facebook or MySpace, if it looks like that is an offer that's too good to be true, it very likely is too likely to be true. There's And if it's too likely to be true, I mean, it's often because you'd have someone who's trying to, who's a hacker or a phisher, trying to get your account information so they can get your into your Facebook account, your Twitter account, or into your email account, and you don't want that to happen. You certainly do not. And the best thing to think of is that when you see that information and it looks interesting, don't just react and say yes. It's like you can see, or you should be able to see, if that information looks to be something that you think would be, yeah, that looks like that would be something that would be, or would not be too good to be true, something that I would like to do, or would like to participate in. Or if it looks like that it's too good to be true, it's like, no, this is obviously a scammer, a spammer, a hacker who wants to get my information, who wants to get my email account, and who wants to take control of my email account and do whatever he or she wants with that. I mean, I've known many, many, many people who've had their Facebook, MySpace accounts compromised in this way, and I know a few people who've had their email accounts compromised similarly because of hackers and phishers. So, just in other words, just act with some common sense, be safe, and just be sure that people know that you know that all the people who are out there aren't necessarily 100% good. Another thing I'd like to talk about, another social media danger, is that, and I guess this would be a good segue as far as people not being 100% good. One thing that there's a lot of there's cyberbullying that exists. I mean, there have been people who've had private information that they wanted to have be private, that's been publicized, and they didn't want that to be publicized, or that they wanted to have information, or that the information that's being publicized about them is their lies, that they're mean and hateful, and because of cyberbullying, there have been people who've been really, really upset, and some of them have, and some of the people who've been cyberbullied have committed suicide because of that, and it's really, really, cyberbullying is really, really a shameless act. So it's like just not good. So, and it's like, that's just something to be aware of as well. And it's just not good. In addition to that other social media dangers, there are technical issues, some of which I got into with the hackers. There's spyware and such that companies, that hackers can see what sites you go into. If you've got a good security program, you should be able to good security, good antivirus program, you should be able to help you in that regard. In addition to that, there's just a concern that what you have to do in order to get your to be able to participate in social media is just be aware that, I mean, yeah, it's fun to interact with your friends and family and all that, but it's just that you just have to be aware that there are risks out there, and you just have to exercise some common sense. That's what I'm just trying to get at here. And taking that into account, one thing that I just want to emphasize and probably re-emphasize the fact that one thing that you should try to do, well, do all the time as much as possible, is try to maintain an even-keeled professional attitude when it comes to social media. The reason why I joined Facebook, for example, was because a professional organization that I belong to, there was a couple events that were hosted, and the publicity was sent via Facebook. And it's like, so I joined Facebook in order to participate with colleagues and with friends, and it later grew because of that. My involvement grew because of that. So that's just something to consider there. And it's like, I'm not saying that participating in social media is a bad thing. I mean, participating in social media is a fantastic thing. It's just that you just have to be aware of certain things, certain protocols that you got to be aware of, because I mean, the social media is a reflection of the world. I mean, and it's a big world out there, and the social media outlets it's huge. I mean, you've got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got other things such as MySpace from many years ago. Just to give an example, you've got YouTube, all these different Web 2.0 products. So anyway, I just wanted to just mention to you some of these things, and also just to be aware that what you would have to do is to basically just when you're on Facebook, when you're on Twitter, act appropriately, act with some common sense, and be aware that a lot of the people you either interact with, or a lot of the people who interact in the same social media that you do, don't always act with common sense. And that's just something that you just have to remember. There have been cases in which people have gotten into arguments, whether it's via Facebook posts, Facebook statuses, tweets, and it's really just sad. So it's just something to be aware of in that regard. Just something to be aware of in that regard. Some other things I'd like to mention is that even though there is a lot of danger out there that's been documented, social media is a good thing. Oh, remember that. Using social media is a good thing. It lets you be able to interact with others. It lets you be able to interact with friends, family, colleagues, and being able to interact, being able to communicate with others is, I believe, a good thing. It's just that when you communicate in this environment, you just have to be aware of that the environment also includes some things that's not necessarily desirable. And since a lot of the things aren't necessarily desirable, they can affect you as far as what I mentioned before, as far as your different Facebook accounts, your different Twitter accounts, your email accounts. And there's also been cases in which employers have asked or have wanted to ask people who've applied for positions at their companies if they want to see what your Facebook page looks like. They want to know what type of individual you are. Now that gets really, really heavy, deep into privacy issues, and that's something that the Facebook executives have said that they do not like one bit. But that's just something to be aware of, that whatever you do that's on the internet, that you publicize on the internet when you're younger, I mean, it's out there, and people will eventually find it. So it's just, if it's something that you want to publicize and you feel comfortable publicizing it, well, good. But if it's something that you want to publicize and it's something that's really, really embarrassing, that might not be good. That's going to be a danger to yourself. And if it's a danger to yourself and it affects you badly, that's really not good. I've mentioned the cases, so it's just something I just wanted to reemphasize. Anyway, I just wanted to conclude this by mentioning that the use of social media is indeed good, and it's just a matter of making sure that whatever you do, that you exercise some degree of common sense when navigating various social media products and networks. Because, one, if something is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Because, I mean, you've got hackers, you've got spammers, you've got scammers, you've got people who want to argue, you've got people who just want to try to get information from you or steal your information, and that's not good. It really isn't. So it's like, just be sure to navigate everything with an open mind and with common sense. And then when you post things, that you do things with an open mind and with common sense. If this is something that you want to see a really, really close family member of you to see, and you don't think it's embarrassing, then yeah, it's fine. But if it's something that you think is too embarrassing for a close family member to see you to do, then it might not be a good thing for you to do. So anyway, I would like to thank you for this presentation. I enjoyed delivering it. The topic of social media dangers, I know, is a very, very general topic, and I tried to do what I can to talk about social media in a general manner. I thank you.